What do you think of all of these SaaS companies lately, or really just tech companies, especially the AI companies, leaning on celebrity endorsements? Are you long or short celebrity endorsements?
I mean, you're a celebrity endorsement for some tech products, huh?
That's a stretch. I mean, I don't have a Netflix series or something. I guess in the traditional sense.
We talked before about like distribution is one of the few moats left and how much companies are investing in distribution advantages. We talked about even like Athletic Greens going really big on influencers. And I think that like when you look at influencers in tech, like really in any product category, like there's not that many people that your target audience like immediately knows. And so I think that for a lot of companies, like there's not necessarily a big influencer within their niche, which means they kind of have to go the celebrity route if they want someone that can break through the noise. The other thing is like I think with a lot of AI products, the value prop seems similar on paper. And so it comes down to like brand, trustworthiness, who has staying power. Like you want to basically position your company as the best option. And if you can get someone really trusted as a celebrity, that can, I think, go a long way in like showing that, oh no, yeah, you're a legit product. One example that I've seen recently, the Jude Law commercials for Legora. Have you seen this?
I did see that one. The recent show that he had on Netflix was really good. I didn't know him from anything else but that.
You don't know Jude Law from anything else? To me, the biggest thing is the holiday. It's Kate Winslet, Jack Black, Cameron Diaz, and Jude Law. Anyway, Jude Law literally has law in the name, and their tagline was "Law just got more attractive." I don't know if that came out of like a non-sober moment of brainstorming where they were like, this would be a really cool idea, and then they had enough funding to go do it. But it's a smart way of standing out and like showing that you have a very legit brand. And in their case, they're going up against Harvey, right? Which is a little bit more known. It's like has had more funding. They are US based, Legora is Europe based. So this is a big way for Legora to say, hey, like don't just look at Harvey. There's another game in town.
It's funny because I was talking to a VC last week about these two companies in the billing space. And what he essentially said was, oh, yeah, company X is a lot further ahead on marketing. Company Y is a lot further ahead on product. We'll have to see who wins in the long term. And it reminded me of the same thing happening in the law stuff. Like eventually, if AI allows them to get to a point where the underlying product, it's not commoditized, but it's very similar, how do you stand out? And which would you rather have first, right? The absolute best product, if all things are equal, right? In perpetuity, or the branding that's somewhat unique and has a voice and personality to it.
If I were Legora, I would probably say we have a great product. People just maybe don't know about it because we came second and we're based in, I think they're based in Sweden. And so if you're a US Fortune 500 company, you probably don't immediately like think of them as an alternative to Harvey. And so I think that they just want to be in the consideration set because like if you can get customers to see, oh, there's another option, let's actually evaluate both, let's bake off, let's see what our users think. Like I think their bet is if they can get in that consideration set, they'll win.
How often are there tech refresh cycles in legal? Probably not that often. So you're really not trying to hit them over the head with the product features at this time. You just want them to know your name. So when it is time to buy, you're within that consideration set. And it could be as like caveman simple as like Jude Law commercial, Legora. Okay. Yeah, let's call them up and have a bake off.
People won't remember the features, right? They're not going to know a whole lot other than this seems like an potentially interesting AI product for legal. And so we should consider them if we're looking at this space. Now in legal, it does feel like this like gold rush with all the funding with products out there and the growth. Like this is the time when both law firms and corporates are looking at legal AI. And I think that if you're not in the consideration set now, you might never ever have an option of being chosen.
It is a trend I'm seeing though to take what would be a boring back office B2B software and sprinkle some celebrity on top to make it more interesting. Like Salesforce has the Matthew McConaughey commercials. I don't know why I'm now associating Matthew McConaughey, this hunky actor, with a CRM, but I guess it works, right? Ramp has Kevin from The Office and Saquon Barkley.
Expensive. I had 2 Chains and Adam Scott for a while.
Exactly. We talked about that. So I'm all for it. I think it brings it into the conversation. And that's sometimes all you need to be around when there is a compelling event to buy.
All right. So we've been talking about AI companies, and I was thinking about this post from Elena Verna on LinkedIn.
And by the way, that's got to be tough waking up to hear that Claude is launching a direct competitor to Lovable.
Probably never fun to have Claude train their sites on you. It used to be like when Google would train your sites on you, it would be like 10 years after you launched the product. They would kind of half-ass it. Their Calendly competitor was like a half-ass launch. Claude is like much more frightening. We even talked about for Legora, their goal with Jude Law is like just get their name out there, like get their brand out there. Not really teach a whole lot of people about like what to do with the product or how it's different. And I think what Elena is saying is we're living in a strange moment in tech. Users seem more motivated to figure out AI use cases than the AI companies themselves. Part fear and FOMO, part curiosity and excitement. That was usually the company's job, remember? And I find it's such a great point. Like using Claude code for go to market, that was never, I think, an intentional use case for Claude. And it's really hard to figure out how to like use it effectively because go to market people have to teach themselves like GitHub and program some like basic programming stuff. But the users are figuring out for themselves and then like are very motivated to tell other people about it. I think it's both like a really exciting opportunity right now where businesses can discover new use cases and then they can invest in more marketing or go to market around things that they see a lot of organic traction on already. I mean, I'll call bullshit on some of these tech companies. Like, you just need to do a much better job educating people because people will figure out the right use cases if they're motivated around your product. But for a lot of AI products, your users do not have that patience and they're just going to leave and not do the extra work.
What I can't decide is what part of this is laziness on the company's part to educate people versus the motivation that you usually don't see to go out and be creative and try something and consume tokens. Like if I told you 5 years ago, like, Kyle, I have this sick new way to build a sales capacity model, you'd be like, CJ, like go back to bed. But now I can create a newsletter post about that with a walkthrough and a video. And this is catnip. Like I want to learn about this. I want to build my own. And they feel like ownership and a sense of creativity around it. I don't know. Maybe it's both these things.
So I've been using Claude Cowork more and more with setting up like your kind of global instructions, teaching it about you and your preferences, and then building skill files. Like it finally feels like the AI is more personal to like who you are and what you're trying to do. There've been so many false starts with AI where we've all been told this is the next big thing, and then we try it out and it's kind of like meh. And I think this is one of the first times people are like, oh, it's worth my time to invest in this because there will be compounding advantages to the time spent right now. And I can actually have AI that's not just producing a generic slop that everyone else sees, that like I can take the time to make something that feels exactly what I want, which also means like we're still relevant as employees. We're not just being replaced by AI. Like we're making a better product with AI.
It reminds me in the days when people would brag about the zaps they'd create with Zapier, but like on the next level.
We used to send Typeform data to a Google Sheet.
Then you'd refresh your sheet like, look, the data's in it.
It had been someone's job to like go manually pull that before. And then it just happened automatically. And we're like, this is so cool. And yeah, now that's just like, oh, wow. 2015 was a simpler time.
But if you're a marketer, I think you got to be pumped because in many ways, the users are doing the product marketer's job for you. Like it's free marketing.
Yeah, for a lot of products, yeah, they're getting a ton of free marketing for their users. I think at the same time, there's a ton of noise because you're not in control of this. There's probably people that are misleading other people about how to use your product. You're also not able to guide people the right way to maybe take full advantage of these use cases. But I think the benefit is users are more motivated now than before, partly out of excitement, partly out of fear. And that's helping us as an industry more than the marketing teams of these companies are.
Ali and the team at Tabs are building something that directly addresses one of the biggest headaches I see finance teams deal with today. Pulling data from your ERP, your CRM, your FP&A tools, and your usage systems and actually making it all work together. If you're running usage-based pricing or complex contracts, you already know how this usually plays out. Contracts live in one system, usage data lives somewhere else, billing happens in another tool. RevRec gets layered on top at month end, and finance ends up just reconciling everything by hand to close the books. This is exactly the problem Tabs was built to solve. Tabs is an AI-native revenue platform built for controllers and CFOs. It brings together data from your ERP, CRM, and real product usage into a single system of record. From there, it automates billing, collections, and revenue recognition without finance having to duct tape workflows together every month. If usage-based revenue is core to your business, this is the future of how billing and RevRec get done. Go check them out at tabs.com/run. That's tabs.com/run.